completely forgot to hit record. Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be flipping these thrifted items into some high-end home decor. Now these thrift flips are going to be incredibly easy, like stupid easy. There's nothing mind-blowing about them whatsoever, but I want to show you how you can take some everyday decor that you can find thrifting and turn it into a high-end home decor dupe. So let's go get started. Okay, so for our first dupe, we're gonna take this wood stool that I found at an estate sale. I think I got it for $7, which is incredible because I don't know if you have seen, but these little platform stools are so popular right now and they're so expensive for whatever reason. Especially like the more vintage looking like found wood ones, they're super expensive. But we're gonna attempt to take this little $7 one to turn it into this high-end one right here. So I actually want to use this thrift flip as an opportunity to try out a DIY hack that I've been seeing everywhere, and that is to use oven cleaner in order to strip the finish off of wood. Truthfully, I am pretty skeptical about this because I have seen a lot of videos on it and it feels like they always skip the part where something happens. So like they show themselves applying it and then they show the finished result and like you just, I don't know. I'm skeptical, and so I'm gonna let you know like straight up the honest truth. I'm gonna show you the entire process and let you know if this hack is all that it is talked up to be. Or so, and then we'll come back in and scrub and see how much it gets off. I will say I can already see like some of the coloration coming off into the foam on the asphalt, so I'm not quite hopeful yet, but I'm getting there. So we'll come check this back out in about 30 minutes or so. Now I'm going to take this cheap brush from Walmart and I'm just going to scrub and see if the finish comes off at all, because it looks kind of promising. I mean, look, that's like the orange is coming off. Okay, so here is my consensus. So you can see it does like pull something up, like you can see all this gook here, but it's still super orange and like, I'm not sure how much of the finish is actually coming off. So I think I'm calling the oven cleaner hack a no. And I mean, I'm sure that you're supposed to do more coats and whatnot, but I just feel like then at that point it's not a hack. It's not easier. So I'm gonna rinse this guy off and then I'm just gonna sand him down, and I think I'm gonna get a better result that way. I'm calling it a no-go on the oven cleaner hack. Okay, so yesterday I tried the oven cleaner hack on this stool and I just was not very happy with the results that it was getting me. I don't want to say that it doesn't work because there's definitely some lighter areas. It definitely pulled some of that stain off, but I just don't think it's much of a hack because the amount of times that you would have to repeat that process, I mean, I don't even know. And then it still wouldn't have cleaned it up completely. So I'm just gonna sand this guy down and hopefully it gets us a lot closer to our inspiration image. Okay, just a little reminder of what we started with. This stool was kind of beat up, had a dark finish on it, and just was lacking a little bit of polish. And here's what this stool looks like now. We cleaned it up, we took it back to the raw wood so that way the character can really shine in this antique little wood stool. The second project that I'm going to work on is this bowl. So I found this wooden bowl at the thrift store for $3. And I want to turn it into one of those really pretty serving bowls that have like the black on the outside. But for whatever reason, whenever I've looked at them, they're so expensive. And I just feel like they shouldn't be that expensive. So when I found this one for $3, I was like, I know exactly what I want to do with you. So we are going to paint the outside of this black. A super simple DIY. Again, none of these are mind-blowing, but I think it will give me that exact look for $3 and some spare paint. So I completely forgot to hit record before I started painting the bowl. So I'm so sorry. I'm so excited because look, it's drying without any of the brush marks really, because I used a matte paint. So now I'm just gonna flip it over and I'm gonna use a sponge brush to just really get that top a nice clean line around this edge. Bowl dry overnight and look how good it looks. It definitely has a very smooth finish, which I did not expect because there was definitely a lot of brush strokes, so it dried really well. I'm just gonna add a protective coating. This is just a clear finishing wax, and I'm just gonna add this over the top to protect that matte paint because it's usually a little bit more delicate. So we're just gonna add that right now, and then this bowl will basically be done. Here's a reminder of what this $3 wood bowl looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. We cleaned it up, we added that beautiful black trim to make it look like the high-end Decor version, and I really love how this turned out. I think it looks identical to our inspiration, and I cannot wait to style this all over my house. Okay, for my last project, I'm going to take this little lamp that I thrifted for $3, and I'm gonna turn it into this really pretty one that is also almost $300 for whatever reason. So even though this guy is gonna be smaller than that one, I think we can achieve the exact same look with some spare paint and a little bit of fun. So we're gonna turn this guy into a beautiful marbled stone look. So let's get started. lamp dry completely overnight. This was our base coat. This is the darker neutral for the base of our marble. Now, it dried with some texture, which I'm not a huge fan of because I want it to have a really smooth marbled appearance. So I'm gonna see if I can knock back some of that texture with just a really fine grit sandpaper, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I think I got it as smooth as it's gonna get. Obviously, it took some of the paint off, but that's okay. We're gonna give it another coat, but a trick, and this works on wood furniture too, when you're trying to erase brush strokes, is to give it a light sanding in between coats. So let it dry completely, give it a light sand, and then go back over it with some watered down paint. And this helps get the coverage that you need, but erasing the brush strokes at the same time. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I have a little bit of water in here, and I'm just gonna water down this paint and give it another coat, let that dry, and then we'll move on to the marbling. Okay, so I've let a second and third coat dry on this, and to be completely honest with you, the hardest part of this is getting a solid coat that's as smooth as possible. In the past, when I've painted over shiny and glossy finished items like glass and ceramic, I usually do a textured technique so it sticks better and you don't have to worry about being as perfect. So this is a little more difficult than that, but I think it's gonna be all right because we're gonna marble it and then we're just gonna let it be. We'll add a finish on the end, so we're gonna make it work. So I have let this dry as best as it can, and now we're going to add some paint to our water bucket and do a marble dip technique. So do you see how it's starting to swirl like that? So I'm just going to go in with my paintbrush and add in more swirl. There we go. You see that, how it's starting to marble? We're just gonna go in. I don't want it to be too swirl because I don't want to mix it, but I think that looks pretty good. And then we're just going to do a dunk. Okay, so the water marbling did not work the way that I had hoped it would. And I realized that the way water marbling works is that you get that marble on the surface of the water. And then when you dunk the item and pull it back up, it lays across the top. Well, with this being an electrical unit, that would not work unless I completely dismantled it, which I had no intention of doing. So we went with a dip drip effect instead, and it's still gonna give us that dimension, still gonna give us that marbly color, and I'm hoping that when we put the poly on top, we'll still get that stone kind of look. It just won't be marbled. But I think it's still an upgrade from where we were at, and I think it will still have the same effect as that lamp that we're trying to achieve. All right, so I let the lamp dry after doing our marbling technique, and now we're gonna add a clear coat of polyurethane, and this is gonna give it a shiny look, and it's also gonna protect the paint from chipping off of the really shiny surface that's up underneath it. So we're gonna do that, and we should be done with this lamp. P.S. Do not apply your poly within the towel. Okay, again, here's a reminder of how this lamp looked when we first started. It was shiny, it was dark blue, and it was very basic. And here's how it looks now. I love how this turned out. I was honestly so surprised it turned out so well after our marbling technique didn't work out exactly as planned, but the two-tone stone look is definitely there, and I love this little lamp in my kitchen. And that is it for this video. I hope that you love these projects and that they inspired you to take a look around your local thrift store or maybe even your own home and see what everyday objects you have that you could turn into some high-end decor dupes. I would love to know which of these projects was your personal favorite from today, so please drop your favorite project from this video in the comments below. And if you love this video, please subscribe so that way you don't miss any upcoming videos, and I will see you next time. Bye! we go.